This is music, and this is a VC triple whammy. Alrighty then, so June was a pretty cool month for the VC because no less than 3 members of the VC were involved in releases that came out in June. 2 of them even came out on the same day. In this video, I'm going to share with you my thoughts on these 3 releases. It has to be said that I have only been able to listen to all of them yesterday, so I gave them all a couple of spins yesterday. So we're not talking about in-depth listening, but I've spun them enough, I feel, that I can at least have the foundation for forming a legit opinion on them. So let's just get down to business. Up first, we have Mr. Guitar himself, Josh Keech, and his debut EP, Warrior in the Clouds. I only have it in digital format because it has not been released physically. I did pre-order this one, but as I said, I only had time to listen to it yesterday. So, what are we dealing with here? We're dealing with heavy metal. We're dealing with instrumental metal. And I know some people are put off by instrumental music. I've even heard of people skipping guitar solos in rock songs. I think that's dumb, but that's just my opinion. So, instrumental metal music. With lots of musical diversity, and that's one of the things I really like about this EP. You got some traditional metal influences, you have some thrash metal influences, you even have some grunge and alternative rock influences, you have a ballad, which is pretty cool actually, and very melodic actually as well, and even some kind of death metal-y things. So lots of musical diversity, which I really appreciate. Now it's instrumental, it's guitar centric, it is Guitar Hero music, but it's not self-indulgent, mindless, wanky shredding. There are lots of guitar solos on this EP, obviously, but there's a lot of feel to those guitar solos. They are very expressive, which I appreciate. Also, a lot of effort has been put into composing songs that are just, the structure is interesting, that have lots of interesting details and memorable parts. A lot of effort has been put into, very cool guitar melodies, and there's some guitar harmonies as well. So a lot of effort has been put into other aspects than only the sort of impressive guitar parts. So it feels like a very holistic release to me. It is guitar centric, but it's more like, a complete whole, you know what I mean? Everything has sort of been worked out, and I think that's great. I really appreciate that. I think Josh mentioned that the aim was to put together the most professional sounding EP possible, using the most budget-friendly means possible, and that has resulted in an EP that sounds professional, it sounds good, it sounds crisp, the production sounds great, but there's still like a raw edge to it that adds some rock and roll authenticity, I think, which I also appreciate. So yeah, obviously I really like this EP. My favorite track, not surprisingly I guess, is DIE, Desolation in Extremis. That's an all-out thrashy song with some very cool groovy breakdowns as well. So yeah, Warrior in the Clouds by Mr. Guitar himself. Do check it out if you like instrumental heavy metal music. It's a no-brainer. You're gonna enjoy it. If you're put off by instrumental music, check it out too, because this is a lesson in how instrumental music can be enjoyable and memorable and have lots of positive qualities. Check it out. Up next, we have Sinnes by the Sexy Beard Squad, also known as Consecration, probably better known as Consecration. So This is out on Redefining Darkness. Look at this piece of cover art. That's really awesome. Carries on here on the back, you know, just awesome. Kind of like, you know, very gruesome, but also very evocative and haunting cover artwork. These sort of gray tones just work extremely well. There's a very cool insert here, which is a fold out, so you can see the entire artwork in its glory. Flip it around, and you got the lyrics and also the band in all their beardy glory. And also the disc itself, or the record itself. The one I picked up was the gray variant. There's also a splatter variant. Got very cool center label here, and also another very cool center label with the track list. And the variant I picked up, this one here, is called Ground to Ashes Gray. So, and that's named for one of the songs on this album. Now, the vinyl version has 6 tracks on it, but the digital version and the CD version, they have 9 tracks on them. So yeah, I'm probably going to have to pick up a CD or a digital version of this album too. So what are we dealing with here? We're dealing with very, very heavy death doom, very riffy, full of chunky riffs. There's a couple of up-tempo, like old school death metal parts as well, which I appreciate, but for the most part, like mid-tempo and heavy, really chunky riffs intertwined with just old school doom metal style riffage as well, you know, with the 1-string figures intertwined with maybe some heavier chords, and it all just works extremely well. Really enjoy this. The vocals are like deep guttural vocals that add a sense of brutality, but also like a almost like a primordial sort of dark and cavernous atmosphere almost to it as well. So the vocals work extremely well. The guitar parts are awesome. The drumming, everything works extremely well. One thing that I don't think anybody will take offense at this, because I mean it as a compliment. Some of the more death metal parts to me remind me of Bolt Thrower, and Bolt Thrower, one of my favorite death metal bands, so that's meant as a huge compliment from me. But this is great, haunting, chunky, heavy death doom with some old school death metal elements. I really enjoy the doom metal parts, and there's some really nice guitar solos as well, and just overall, you know, great death doom. I'm not a big fan of death doom like unconditionally, but when it's death doom like the Sexy Beard Squad, like their music here, yes, that is absolutely great. So if you like your death metal, if you like your doom metal, then I think picking up a copy of Sinis should make your day for sure. Now I opted for the vinyl version. I will probably end up picking up a CD, or maybe just the digital version. Speaking of death doom, I got more. Enchantment, Cold Soul Embrace. This one was released on the same day as Josh's debut EP. I also picked up the cassette tape. So Enchantment, or the Bald Beasts of Blackpool. Let's just show the cassette tape first. It has this epic fold out J card with just lots of lyrics and liner notes. So that's great. And the cassette tape itself looks like a kind of like a green kind of version of the old school sort of chrome cassette tapes. So that's great. I picked this one up so I can listen to it on my cassette player in my office at work when the vacation is over. I obviously also picked up the vinyl version, and this one also has a very different, obviously, but awesome cover artwork. By the way, Josh's EP, he designed the cover artwork himself, I think. So that's actually very impressive, and I really like his piece of cover artwork too. This one, also kind of like very evocative and dark and emotional and haunting, but a completely different style from the Sexy Beard Squad's album. This is the what the back looks like. So the bald beasts of Blackpool here. It's a gatefold. Looks like this. So you got some lyrics and liner notes. No, actually just here you got lyrics in the gatefold. And then I assume, you got the liner notes and the credits in this cool insert. Right? Some more photos of the guys there. So yeah, this is also Death Doom, and the version I picked up was the kind of minty and blue colored, kind of like combo here. Looks really cool. Also cool center label, and here you have the other center label with the track list. So this one is out on Cosmic Key Creations. Yeah, we're also dealing with Death Doom here, and this one has 8 tracks on it, and it does include as Greed as the Eye Beholds and The Beauty of Liars, which were also on the kind of single or EP that came out earlier this year. Both are excellent tracks. Both are tracks that kind of take me back to the Death Doom of the 90s. And I would say all of the tracks here actually do that. They're even like some of the tracks even kind of like epic. They have like symphonic parts to them. So symphonic Death Doom. And it works really well. The music is it's heavy and it's doomy, and there are some like up-tempo death metal parts, but for the most part it's heavy, doomy, but not super slow doom metal, which I appreciate. The guitar figures are awesome. There are lots of guitar harmonies, and you have the guitars doing different things sometimes, but lots of guitar harmonies as well. The vocals are more of the death grunt variety, and that just works very well. The vocals are excellent on this one too. Works well, like both in contrast with and in sort of supplementing, I guess, the music itself. And there's also kind of like some spoken word as well. So that all kind of takes me back to, you know, my Dying Bride and things like that. So very, very 90s sounding Death Doom. But also extremely melodic, which I appreciate. And there are even some of the songs almost have kind of like almost like hard rock elements to them. Great stuff. I mean, just fantastic Death Doom. I really appreciate how melodic it is. The production has a very warm sound and a very round sound, and you can really hear the bass that takes up kind of like a central part of the overall sound picture. So that's great. Cold Soul Embrace, another fantastic Death Doom release. I mean, how lucky are we? We have the Bald Beasts of Blackpool releasing this Death Doom masterpiece, and we have the Sexy Beard Squad releasing this also Death Doom masterpiece, and then we have Mr. Guitar himself releasing just a fantastic instrumental EP. I mean, June was a great month, and I'm happy that I had the time to listen to this stuff yesterday. I'll obviously listen to them much more. But yeah, those were my thoughts on these 3 releases. I enjoyed all of them. They're all great in their own way, just fantastic. I hope that Josh is really proud, because he deserves it. I hope that the Death Doom Metalhead is really proud, because he also deserves it. And I hope that Mark G with the C is really proud, because he also deserves it. They all did a fantastic job. I enjoyed listening to these releases yesterday. So check them out, and thanks for watching.